This is what I have been talking about. The mind lives in ignorance, and ignorance causes the suffering. Your mind says, anyhow, I have to work on it. And the easiest way to work on it, close your eyes if you see a guy whom you hate, plug off your ears if you don't like a noise, shut up your lips if you don't like a food. Come on. You are intelligent, and the loss of intelligence causes the suffering. From where this loss of intelligence comes? Loss of memory. Down the road. Why the loss of memory? Because of confusion in the mind. Why confusion in the mind? There is an intense desire to find happiness from the world outside. Why it is so? Because of attachment. I am attached to the noise with an obsession, and that obsession gives me hundreds of ideas how to get rid of it. And back to square one. My simple question is, again, my friend, simple question. You remember you are projecting the noise in the future, so you found an alternative. Why don't your mind remember the principles and apply those principles as a knowledge practice that can be done anytime, anywhere? Is the first step. And then your mind will return, no, it is not helping me. I'm hungry, I'm looking at the food but not eating it. You see, why is the reason that I'm hungry? I have served all the main principles, very fast in the previous weeks. So it is served on a plate, it is there with you, and you are asking me why I am hungry. You don't eat it. So understand that the mind in ignorance is dictating you. And when it dictates with the past habit. It dictates with the past memory. What is that past memory? The noise. And you don't break that vicious circle by applying these principles. Are you getting it? Am I clear? But then the mind says, I can't apply. So this is a very deep obsession of the mind with reference to the noise. Now ask yourself, if your mind is saying, I can't apply, do you ask the question, why? Don't you want to get rid of this problem of anxiety forever? We don't ask. The mind drops down into deeper ignorance, deeper wrong notion, deeper wrong thinking. And when the mind is totally filled with all these crazy thoughts, there is a loss of memory, there is a loss of intelligence that leads to delusion. Understand what is that delusion. What appears true is not true. And that delusion hijacks your mind with the wisdom, and in that wisdom, without understanding, you can do any practice. It will fail. Why should I promote myself? Why shouldn't I tell you the truth? I should have told you, no, please, you are very good, continue the practice. No, you understand it. Understand with a clarity. So there is a doubt-free mind. Did I tell you? Yes, I talked about that. I remember what I gave you. Doubt-free intellect and the doubt-free mind inspires you to do the practice and get the result. I'm hammering today on your mind that finds alternatives which has no solution. So what is that delusion? That this noise is disturbing me, this noise is meant to disturb me. This noise alone is causing the suffering because it is chasing me. You alone hear the noise from the football stadium, no one else in this world. I'm hammering on your mind. No one hears that noise. I know according to your mind.
Okay, so my parents' reaction is different. My mom has problem with hearing. So when she is at home, she doesn't hear any noise.
Wonderful point. Go ahead. Okay. Understand this point. That if the ears are not perfect as an instrument of knowledge that goes to the mind, there is no problem. So if ears become deaf, they don't listen to any noise, then I'm okay. That is what you are doing. By plugging off something into your ears. And that in that state, the mind is at the level of peak reaction that you don't notice. The mind says, crazy ears, stop listening. The mind is fighting with that sense organ. Ask yourself where it will lead you to. Today it is because of the noise, tomorrow it will be because of the sight, next day it may be because of the sensation of touch. That mind is still there. That is reacting. It is not the ears. Ears are the instrument. Ears are not at the culprit. They are not the culprit at all. It is the mind that experiences the noise is the problem. And you say, let me delete my ears completely and see what happens. That is what you are doing. So the mind reached at the peak of the reaction. It will fail, it will frustrate you. And then you will say, this beer guy is crazy guy, he is not listening to me, he is not understanding me. Question is, why should I understand the craziness of the mind? Why should not I make you understand the craziness of the mind and drop it? I know your mind may be thinking, you don't understand. You know what the problem I have, you don't understand. You are not in my situation. So you started with a wrong notion. How can I understand and why should? But I will make you understand. Look at it. Look at it. Understand that part. Now see that knowledge should lead to understanding. Why we talk? Knowledge should lead to understanding. What is that understanding? What is the meaning of understanding? Meaning of understanding is clarity. What is that clarity? So I have two choices. The mind falls into the wrong notion. The mind is uplifted with the right notion. I choose this. That is known as clarity. Am I okay? I am not pushing you to follow me. I'm a guru. I'm not asking you to follow a cult. I'm not asking you to follow a belief and a religion. We are given an intellect to understand. So I have understood at this moment, and then there is a clarity. Why don't I keep the clarity when the mind attacks me with the wrong notion? You are crossing a road and the car is speeding. You backtrack. You take 2 steps backward, wait, and then you cross the road. Am I right?
Yes.
You are given the 2 choices and you choose it with clarity. Why don't you choose the right notion, right understanding with the clarity? I want to hammer your mind as if I'm beating your mind, slapping your mind. That returns again and again. You may hear the noise, deafening noise. The mind says, okay, continue, who cares you? Mind is the culprit, not ears, not eyes. Eyes, ears, nose, they are neutral. The mind says, see, the noise is disturbing me. The ear sees the same way. Your eyes looking at me may create a wrong notion. All the beer guys are crazy guys. Don't talk to them. It is not the eyes who has created. Are you understanding?
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you that every time we meet, and if your mind continues to think that the beer guys are crazy guys, beer guys are crazy guys, maybe after 4 weeks what will happen? The mind through the eyes do not want to see me. I can tell you. The way you educate the mind will function like this. There is no other way. It is possible. That is what we do in our relationship. You are lucky, you are single. So after a few months of the marriage, at the time of the marriage, soulmate. I don't know the meaning. And after a few months, sourmate, sourmate.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few months, the mind starts thinking, creating a wrong notion. Oh, I should not have married. Oh, I should not have married this guy or this girl. No, but the society puts the pressure. Oh, let us continue, live in frustration, infighting, reaction. See that how the mind is working. How the mind. So the spouse that you saw, the soulmate in the spouse at the time of the marriage because of infatuation, pleasure, happiness, sensual pleasure. Now see that. And compare how the mind is working in you. Then after a few months, that emotional level of the mind returns. And emotional level says likes and dislikes. Okay, everything is good, but I don't like this habit of my spouse. And the spouse also thinks in the same way, and they create a wall. I don't like it, so I will not say anything. And the spouse is confused and you are confused. Yes, continue. Then you start rationalizing it, the same likes and dislikes. And the intellect concludes, I should not have married. I should have married. I should have married someone else. You see, all the 3 are wrong notions. What is the right question? What is this marriage? What pulled me into this marriage? what I'm saying? You have to apply, you have to question yourself and how this example applies. What is the marriage between the noise in your mind? That is the right question. How to take a divorce from it, plugging off the ears, is not a solution. So you marry, you are suffering. You divorce, you are suffering. You remarry, you are suffering. You are intelligent. That's why I started with a very common example of a marriage. Why your mind has a contract marriage with the noise outside? That is what I'm asking you. I'm not asking anything at all. There are millions and trillions of other noises you are not married to. There are other people who are not married to. You got married to, and your mind wants to keep that marriage at the center of your mind and life and habit and attitude. That is what happens, I met a lot of people in relationship and then they divorced. I still remember him and her. Should I say that you are very good because you remember him and her after making a decision of divorce? You have divorced. Not only divorced, you have transcended. When you told me there is a spark that is happening. When you say I feel something behind the chest, and that is the moment of calmness and peace oozing out of you because you transcended the mind. And you don't want to return to the same experience again and again. That is light. You want to fight with the darkness. You want to throw the darkness into garbage bin and you want to throw out of your mind. It will never happen. So when that spark of something, I don't want to name, the spark of something that is oozing out behind your chest means it is behind your mind. You are transcending the mind. You experience the peace is within you, the calmness is within you. The more and more you reach to that state, it will help you just dissolve, destroy what is happening in the mind. The mind that is causing the stress is totally destroyed. From that spark behind the mind expresses through the mind and the intellect in the state of the wisdom, problem is not there. Problem simply is not there. You need not to think of it. That is the power of this knowledge of the Eastern wisdom. What I'm saying, is it making some sense or it is nonsense?
No, it's not nonsense.
So when it is not nonsense, I should not only understand clarity, no confusion, let the intellect inspire me 24/7. That is the knowledge practice. You keep it 24/7. It can happen when you are teaching. It can happen when you are sitting in a school. It can happen when you are talking to your mom. It can happen when you are in a restroom. But what is happening? The mind is thinking what will happen. if the noise will come when you are sitting in a restroom, when you are cooking something, when you are moving to school, when you are sitting, when you are teaching. Are you realizing what a blunder you are doing? I'm answering the same question. I don't have time. When I have time, when I do practice twice a day, I'm asking, keep that knowledge practice in your head and the mind 24/7 without disturbing any activity outside. Are you understanding? You're wise, so I'm giving an example my master used to give when I used to learn from him in the Himalayas in a cave at the height of 12,000 feet, where the Ganges River roars because the speed is about 50 miles an hour. It's a deafening noise. The noise of the football stadium is nothing as compared to the roaring sound. And you are learning. How can you hear? And in that roaring sound, entering into the cave, the master is teaching, and the mind made my ears extremely alert and attentive to filter the roaring sound and listen to what he is teaching. You need that state of the mind. That is why we have been doing the practice. But what he said, that is extremely important. You see that when there is a storm in the world, when someone is causing you the trouble your mind is experiencing, when there is a storm, what should you do? My master asked. Do you fight with the storm? No. You hide yourself against a big wall where the storm cannot harm you. You wait until the storm calms down. Then stand up, walk like a lion. What is the message? It is a knowledge practice. When the mind with the wrong notion and the thinking is making you crazy, anxious, reactive, what is the best solution? Take refuge in the knowledge practice. Don't react by plugging off your ears. I will send you good items to plug off your ears and eyes and nose and mouth and everything. Keep that. And then see where the life goes. So he says calming down means don't react. How do you don't react? Take refuge in the knowledge. What is that knowledge? Let me see what is happening. But peace is my essential nature. Mind is engaged and it wants me to engage into these stuff. I am not ready to get engaged. Peace is my essential nature. Shantoham. That is what it means. You're hiding behind a thick, strong wall, not to be affected by the storm is there. The storm of the mind is there. It is repeating by its habit. Let me maintain that. Let me maintain that. And you will see the storm disappears. But if you fight with the storm, you will fail, you will frustrate, you will react more, you'll have more challenges, you will enter into the peak of your anxiety, you will enter into the peak of your frustration and suffering. Are you getting it? Is your mind saying, this beer guy doesn't understand me, leave this guy? It is the same thought coming from the same mind that is making you crazy. I'm talking sense. I'm not talking common sense, even not sense. I'm talking common sense. The illiterate people can understand common sense. You are more intelligent. You are wise. The way you put the questions. Can't you apply this common sense? Common sense. You teach English, so what is the meaning of common sense? So that common sense is hijacked by our habit, our past experiences filled with the wrong notion. First time, and then we will have two small practices that you can take to your restroom, that you can take while taking a bath, that you can keep listening and doing it while sitting in a staff room in the school, that you can do the practice while walking into the school and away from the school. But I give you a very strong, real incident that happened. So normally in India, the teacher, the mentor normally says, I love you all. I love you all. You all are wonderful. So first time when I was in the United States in 2007, and possibly it was the fourth and the fifth workshop I was organizing, and there were 20 people, 19 women and 1 man. So the same, by virtue of a habit, the same statement came out, I love you all. I love you dearly. So let us explore what is the love. And a couple of women objected to it. What do you mean by that you love us? We only love our honey. What is the problem? The problem is that their understanding of love is sensual and physical. So they objected to it, and I realized instantly. I said, I take my words back. Now see how I help. I'm sorry. And I showed the tears in my eyes, and they were satisfied. And then I started, let us understand what is love. The lowest love is nothing but love for non-living objects. Where the non-living objects like iPhone does not reciprocate your love. You simply love, it is one-sided. Second level of love is infatuation. You are expecting a pleasure because of the physical activity which is known as a sex. It is a little higher love because the other partner also somewhat reacts or responds. So, it means you have an expectation from the others, and it is, if it is fulfilled, you say, yes, I enjoyed. If it is not fulfilled, you are still frustrated. Can I ask you guys, how many of you are completely 100% satisfied? Can anyone raise their hand? They did not. No one. Because it is repetitive in nature. It is habitual. What is habitual and repetitive in nature doesn't work. Third is the emotional. You are connected with the pure emotion. There is an expectation from both the sides, and more or less they get fulfilled for even 50%, so you have an emotional connect. It is higher love than the physical. It is a higher love than the material. Do you agree? Are you emotionally connected to your spouse? Yes. I said I want to ask you, how much emotionally disconnect with your spouse, and what is the percentage? So those who feel it is less than 50% raise their hand. 18 women raise their hand. So it means because it is less than 50%, you have lot of conflicts at the mental level. Am I okay? Am I right? They said yes. So you don't have a emotional love, you don't have a mental love. What the hell you guys are talking about? The self in our true nature is of the nature of love. So when I say I love you, that self is a pure consciousness expressing through my mind and intellect and passing the love of the self to you. It has nothing to do with all the different types of the love you talk about. What I did, I removed the wrong notion with understanding, with clarity. Oh, now I'm sorry, I know I never thought of this love. That is why you are suffering, even loving. You claim outside, I have a wonderful marriage, but you are not living into that wonderful marriage. Can you apply? That noise is purely material. That material noise is not moving to you, you are moving. First step. You are moving emotionally. You are moving physically. Second step, you are moving sensually. So sensation, plug off, you cannot do. You are moving emotionally. You are moving mentally. What is the height of craziness in your mind? I can understand. When those women had a tremendous craziness, they realized, yes, no, it is less than 50%. I have more conflict than a pure emotion. My mind is confused. I cannot understand what to do with this guy. So you are living, you are in a limbo with the wrong notion. I gave practical examples, the sexual pleasure, emotional, they are very, they are hardcore understanding in our day-to-day life in the modern world. And you just apply the same thing with your challenges and you see, just start thinking. Noise is there, yes. Where it is affecting mind. Mind is agitated, yes. Why the mind is agitated? Is it material? Is the noise coming to me disturb me? No. My mind is going there, picking up the noise and comes with a reaction. Do I feel? Yes, emotionally. Do I feel mentally? I have to think like this. Why? To remove that confusion. Why? To have a clear understanding. Why? To lead to clarity. What is that clarity? leads to make a right choice, and that intellect is doubt-free now, that will inspire to do all the practices I have given you, and it will change you. Maybe when I come to Ukraine, I'll find there may be some DNA that attracts the noise in the brain. You have a very specific neurons in the brain, so I will take those neurons out. No, let me follow you. Understand this, the intelligent people should follow. Hammer your mind. What is that understanding? What is that knowledge that gives me the understanding, clarity, making the right choice, doubt-free mind, intellect be inspired by doing the practice to erase all the past impressions and done? I showed you the highway. And you leave the highway, you take an exit again. Let me plug off my ears. I'm showing you the highway, easy, approachable. No, let me take a ramp, an exit. You don't understand, I have to take an exit. My mind is like a car is out of fuel, out of gas, so I have to fill the gas. Why? Wrong notion. Plugs off. Everything. And you find the totally low energy. First understanding knowledge. You have a knowledge of craziness in your mind with reference to the noise. So we have a knowledge of peace with reference to our mind. They both are connected. So at least your mind has to make a choice. I can only point you out. I cannot enter inside your head and ask your mind to make a choice. And I still feel there is another cause which is resulting into this anxiety that we will talk later.